What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Season 2 of the Project Manga podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, The Promised Neverland, Chainsaw Man, Samurai 8, and Jujutsu Kaisen week to week. Back this week, covering Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 1 for the first episode in our coverage of the Weekly Shonen Jump issues in Season 2 of the Project Manga podcast. I'm your host, Eagle.
It's your boy, Kiko.
Noxie.
And before we get started, we would just like to again say a heartfelt thank you to all of you for the amazing support we received throughout Season 1. We are all infinitely grateful for each and all of you and the time, support, feedback, and love you've given us. You all are truly the grease and oil that keep the cogs and wheels in this machine turning, the bedrock upon which we are attempting to construct this Project Manga empire.
That was a lot. I was
Thank
ready
you
for all that.
We love and appreciate you all.
Oh, yeah.
That said, as usual, visit the link tree in the description below, where you can find the links to any and all of our online communities, and also the links to any audio listening platform that you prefer, as the Project Manga podcast is on all of them. And with all that being said, how do you guys feel about coming back after what seems like an eternity?
Bro.
That's our host. I just want to say that's our host. Right there. All them words and shit. I done fucking, Season 2, guys. How's it going?
Yeah, killed the game. Very good job. And I feel incredible. I was starting to get anxiety. Like, you know, like
it's been so long.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like so long, but it's only been like 2 weeks, right? But yeah. I mean, like, people are still like in our inbox, kind of like. There was one person that thought we were going to be off for a year.
Oh my god, no. He's like, yo, I'm out of
here.
We already got bread like that. We can take a whole year off. We're out here in the fucking YouTube game. Fuck.
Yeah, but no, it feels great to be back, though.
It does. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Super excited about it. Yeah.
I think we can probably move right into the meat and potatoes of this. So we can get started with, well, first off, what is the main thing you guys took away from the chapter 85 of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya Incident Part 3 from when we were off? Yeah,
we should probably say some words about the week that we weren't here, because that shit was crazy.
Yeah, just in general. I mean, we're gonna kind of lightly touch on those chapters that we weren't here for, but yeah. I mean, this Jujutsu chapter, I'd say it's the chapter of the year. The last, chapter previous to this week. That shit.
We should have like an extra episode for like our favorite chapters and like moments of the year. Maybe we can do that, but
I feel like we did some, like in the first couple episodes we tried to do a thing at the end where we would each pick a chapter of the week, and then we just kind of
because that would make the episodes 2.5 hours long. We wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
But I mean, 85 of Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely contender for chapter of the year for me too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how Gojo just debated the hell out of Hanami attacking Jugo, and then he hit the switch on his ass and said, "Someone told me this is your weak spot."
Yeah.
And like, bro.
And it's amazing how Gege doesn't forget like the things that he or she like says it in the story, because Inumaki said that in the Goodwill event. He told everybody that Hanami's weak point is the branches in his eyes. So I thought that was really cool. But the layers of strategy in Jujutsu Kaisen is just like, so we talk about it every week about how amazing it is and how reminiscent it is, of Hunter x Hunter. But like, Gojo turns off his limitless technique, just to throw hands or whatever. But the limitless barrier was the only thing that they needed the domain amplification for, right? And since the domain amplification, is relatively new to them, obviously, Hanami is more confident in his Jutsu Shiki, so he's like, okay, well, if I don't need domain amplification because you're not using Limitless, then I'm just going to use my curse technique as soon as he
Nah, fam.
He said,
nah.
And it's just like,
gotcha.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just so crazy how, like, Gojo really did, just bait the shit out of him, but at the same time, he's that confident in his, like, martial, like hand-to-hand prowess too, which is so crazy.
Which also did surprise the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Kiko did call this, and we both shut him down. But he showed out his.
There's no way he don't have hands. Like that's
he
what I'm
said,
saying. Like
he said, "Ready, steady." Oh my god! Yo, Gojo is a savage.
Yeah,
bro.
dude.
Gojo's the greatest of all time.
But you want to know what?
Kiko
Kiko called Gojo having hands, but I called Jogo getting his arm ripped off. So
Yeah, that
That's
was crazy. That is crazy that you call that's specific. You
Yeah.
know,
And also,
hell
something
yeah.
else I didn't know that he could do is increase the like power of the Limitless to
the
where
range and
when he smushed Buddy against the wall.
the Fable force push, bro. The Fable force push.
Yeah, dude.
Jugo said,
bro.
Yeah.
Konami? He was out of there, bro. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
Fable
God.
Force Push is good too, but I was thinking more like spiritual pressure from Bleach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
oh you're actually doing your first go through of Bleach, so I'm not going to actually say it. But get ready for some crazy spiritual pressure shit later on in the R&Car shit.
Hell
But,
It is one of the better parts of Bleach, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. But going into like the newest chapter, right? Is that everything that we?
Yeah, chapter 86.
I mean that's really
No,
that's
what-
really
what-
incident part.
Yeah,
4.
no,
I just want to talk about the very first page because it's just so hard to pick like my favorite moment in that chapter, but it's just Gojo has smooth ass Shundo in between fucking Jugo and Hanami while they're both like looking
Yeah.
at him. Then and it's like, hey, what up, y'all? I
Yeah.
thought y'all told me not to run away.
That's
now
right.
y'all scared?
Yeah.
You know, like, that was my right away. I just like dropped first page. I was like, I just figured I'm leave. Like this
Yeah.
shit is so cold blooded. Like right off
and,
bat.
and I'm
like,
glad
this
that you brought that
dialogue-
up because that is really probably my favorite part of it too, because it's so reminiscent of that scene in the Chimera Ant saga when like when Komugi when Netero and Zeno run into the palace and they see the king with Komugi and they're like, oh my god, there's an extra person here that we didn't consider, let's go ahead and let him have his moment. And then the king is like, all right, let's do this. And then it's just like right next to Netero and Zeno, and they're like, oh my god, we could have just died right there if he was really trying to kill us, and he's just like in the middle of them. I mean, like, it's obviously a completely different like situation, but that was just like the vibe that I got from that.
Anytime you get the slick Shundo where they're like right behind somebody or right next to them and they get tapped on the shoulder, any of that shit, that's always that shit always goes the hardest.
Yes,
And they were shook.
Did that
They
shit
said-
smooth as butter in there. Just came
Oh,
in.
shit.
And just the way it's illustrated, where it just shows like one, and he's got like some. I want to say he had like some Ferragamos on or some nice ass fucking shit, and he just takes like that one like step and then it just, he fucking I don't know, just the way it was illustrated like this was really, really good, which I always talk about how it's sketchy but clean, and you're just like, man, how does this look so good? And yet you sometimes like see like some just sketchy line work, but yet
I mean that's more so like in the action, but like in like still imagery, like Gege, like Gege's pen is so nice and like and uniform at times, and then but there is an overall like sketchy like film over it, you know what I mean, which is really nice. But one thing that Gege does really, really cool and different is texture, you know what I mean, where you have like the stark blacks in their like outfits, but then you have that like weird pattern of like light gray over it that like really shows like a lot of like 3D like depth to the clothing and shit. I love that about that
I also
style.
love when characters are screaming or laughing and they have that like that sketched down stuff in their mouth, like when Jugo was yelling.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Jugo's like, and right before Gojo kills Hanami, Jogo's like, wait, I got civilians over here. Gojo, like, I'm gonna kill these civilians, and Gojo just says, anyway, just doesn't care. He's just like, and that goes into what I was saying last week about how he's just like, he just understands that people are going to die, like in this conflict. He's not trying to save everybody, which just like goes to show like how, I mean, that says a lot about his character to me, and how like all business they are, at all times when it comes to this shit.
Calm.
Yeah,
collected.
like you can't take advantage of, of that kind of shit with a character like Gojo, which is just really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway from not biggest takeaway, but the thing I like the most about the newest chapter 86 is that Mei-Mei's warging.
Bro,
that shit is
the
raw.
warg though. I knew you were.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say something about that because that's totally what it is. But like,
that's where y'all went with it. I went with Mei-Mei Uchiha. I thought. I mean, tell me that's not Itachi's crows. That's what I thought right away. Like, all right.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
good,
cool.
too.
Nah, fuck that shit. Nah, Naruto, nah, dork, get off my show. All right, sorry. I'll see you guys later.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But it's just like the coolest thing about the crows to me though was that she makes a comment about how like my crows died before I could really get like, you know, a glimpse of what's going on underneath, because I had to cloak them, you know, obviously I have to cloak them in Juryoku so that I can use this ability. And, you know, Mahito or the grasshopper, probably Mahito, like, could see like, oh, these crows have cursed energy, you know, attached to them. This is obviously surveillance, you know, which is...
Shout out Grasshopper.
Grasshopper, though. Like, what's up with Grasshopper, though?
I like Grasshopper.
I kind of want him to join the squad.
I'm smart. I'm smart. He's smart. He's smart.
Yeah.
He's about to be splattered though, so fuck him anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Yeah.
It's cool that we got like an all UG chapter though. You know,
we needed it. It's been so fucking long.
Yeah.
You know, so long. And
you almost forget that this story has a main character.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be good to see him show out, especially Mahito round 2. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. How do you guys?
Cool
how do you
learned?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's cool that he learned Mahito's name. That is.
Mahito. He never
Yeah.
knew that before, which is like.
And nobody does. They all call him Patrick. Nobody actually knows his name, which I was because I was a little taken aback by that. I'm like, damn, like nobody knows. You know, it seems like, but I mean that makes sense. It's just like that just doesn't happen in a lot of manga, and that's just another level of how like hunterish, I guess it would say. Like
you don't need to know my name.
Yeah, secrecy is very important, and I love it. You know, it's always a good angle for me.
Yeah, 100%. But how do you guys feel about Yuji versus Mahito? It's like after seeing like Mahito versus Mekamaru and like, you know, all of this shit, it's like what would a round 2 even really be like, and like how much growth has Mahito like, you know, had, you know, in between the last fight with Yuji, you know, and now, where it's just like I feel like if Yuji tried to fight Mahito right now, he would get scraped.
He gonna bloom.
Yeah.
Yuji's got some shit though that we ain't seen. Obviously, you know, it's been some time. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
He might have leveled up the what is it? The Kyokusen, the black.
Yeah, Kokusen, the Black Flash.
Yeah.
And but I mean, like if it's just Divergent Fist and, you know, and Black Flash still, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. I hope that he has like, you know, obviously
he's tap into Sakuna a little bit.
Yeah, like, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like, do you really think that this is gonna be like a tag me in, you know, like kind of like, do you think that the relationship between like Sakuna and, you know, and Yuji is going to turn into like a Kurama, you know, and Naruto situation, or like a Zangetsu and Ichigo situation? Like,
I don't know. I mean,
or do you want it to be like
Yuji, he hates Sakuna because he looks down on humans and shit. I don't necessarily think Yuji can really do anything to change that view as far as, you know, from Sakuna's standpoint, because he's just a curse, and he's like, I'm the baddest motherfucker out.
Yeah, and they still have that contract where
humans.
They still have that contract where if Yuji says something, then Sakuna comes out for a minute, you know, or whatever that is. Like, so I mean, like obviously that's still like the dynamic there with them that like Yuji obviously wants to avoid at all costs, which is obviously going to get brought out at some point during this conflict.
Right.
But like outside of that, like, do you think that it's going to be like a let me get a little bit of you. Let me get a little smidge of your power. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be
really,
possibly.
No, I would like it if he actively like worked against Sakuna. You know,
me too.
Like, and just never accept him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like it to just be the, like right now it's kind of like the balancer to where Mahito knows that he can't use his territorial expansion against Yuji because Sakuna gonna activate on that. So it kind of protects him in that sense, where it's just gonna be a physical hand-to-hand fight. You know, and obviously Mahito probably using curse techniques and stuff, but
yeah.
I think that's about it though for me. Anyway,
yeah, I would love to see entirely new techniques from Yuji, but it's like, who would he have learned them from?
Yeah, true.
You know, yeah,
for sure. Another thing I want to talk about is how there's just the panel of Gojo being Gojo, basically saying strong sorcerers can't cast these barriers. So you basically have to be a really high level sorcerer to be able to cast these barriers.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Yuji is thinking back on, like, there's no way this dumbass grasshopper did this, and that's why he's protecting that like beacon or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, transmitting these curtains or whatever.
Yeah, which is the first time we've seen those, right? Before I just kind of assumed that it was just like an Yumo Gwegwe find me. But like you actually have to have like a little like, you know, a little thing there. I didn't know that.
Well, and it was nice to see him so perceptive that he,
definitely, and maybe there's multiple ways. Like you could actually have like a caster who's channeling and sitting there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Pagawa Sanpa. Or some shit like that. But like, or you know, if you're as skilled as they are, you maybe have like some beacons, like one, because there's 2 curtains, you know, of course, and that's and I would like to see like maybe if that beacon could only work for the weaker curse that would keep the humans in, opposed to the one that would keep the you know, sorcerers out. You know,
has
like
to have a caster type situation.
Yeah, that would make sense to me, and I hope that's kind of how that goes. But even back to that panel, it's just tight, you know. Gojo like, high level, you know, they can't do this or that, but I can do both. You know, I kill the game. I can do everything. I have no weaknesses. I'm the best of all time. You may as well just say I'm the GOAT in all his panels. You know, under every sentence he says.
Jojo even says like, "Is there anything you don't have?"
Yeah, Jogo does say that.
What the hell?
Yeah. It's bullshit. Obviously, he's broken as fuck. They gotta see him his ass.
I like there being a character like that can just come in and steamroll, you know, anyone at any time. You know what I mean? Like in the series, but it certainly
makes good action chapters. I'll tell you that.
But it is. I feel like it is. You know, like just flagging up and down that he about to
we
be
gotta
out of
seal
here.
The boy.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's
all I
it
got.
for me.
That's all I had too.
We can move on to chapter 28 and 29 of Samurai 8. What did you guys think of last week's chapter, Dharma the Initiate?
I think it's really cool that we saw Dharma's vision.
Yeah,
it was really cool to see that.
That's actually was my thing too, is that like I loved how it, you know, he said, I get low level like pixelated vision.
Yeah, that's super cool.
But he's playing 64 and everybody else is playing PS37. You know, they're on PS37 out here, and the fucking this guy's on 64. Playing Goemon. That shit look like Goemon to me.
Should look like Star Fox 64.
I'm gonna fly over this triangle and in between this circle over here. All right, sweet.
Zoids.
Zoids. Oh no! Full power Dharma armor is crazy. The design was amazing.
Yoken is his name. The Yoka. He's another Yokozuna class holder. That's tight that we have these holder classes.
Yep.
Super tight. The fight choreography in Samurai 8 is just getting more and more impressive. Over time, like seeing all of his like special attacks with the, you know, inside of the ultimate form with the armor was just like super cool to see. The woodpecker. Super sick. Yeah, super sick. The scythe attack slices his fucking arms off. Dude, he just waxed M.A.N.G.A.
he said, stop that shit so easy.
It's so crazy how these chapters parallel themselves, like the Samurai 8 and the Jujutsu, where like triple OG's gonna come in and just wreck somebody who does no business being in this fight.
But that they're hyping up to be a problem. So that was super tight to have that. One thing I want to talk about is that he's not even using half of his power because his princess is dead. That's right, bro.
Like, I'm not even using half. I can't even tap into half my power.
That's like, so crazy.
What the fuck? And he says Hachimaru is going to be greater than he was. So what the fuck is that going to look like,
bro?
I can't fathom. My primitive mind can't fathom this fucking space battle shit. It's like what's gonna be? I have no idea what's gonna.
Eventually, they're just gonna have to. They're just gonna have to start taking these fights to like the deep, like void, like vacuum of space, because it's just like there's gonna be way too much collateral damage on like a galaxy level, fam. Like Milky Way is gone in one fight. You know what I'm saying? Right. Andromeda's gone in one. Three Musketeers.
And I feel like Kishimoto knew that we were kind of waiting to see this, because even Hachimaru like makes a point to state in the chapter, he's like, so this is what a space battle looks like. And it's like,
you see like the little star blasts along, and that was super tight, like how the fight goes across the whole panel.
Yeah, dude.
He definitely knew we were waiting on that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Kishimoto.
Kishimoto's been delivering on this story, man.
Yeah, I think the hate's undeserved, and especially now that the art's here. Like, I felt like the art was really the only thing, and that's another crazy part is that I feel like it is still getting better. Obviously, now that we're kind of plateaued at this part where it's like so good that like getting better is such a smaller margin. Compared to like 15 chapters ago where you just saw like this jump and you're like, whoa, this is a whole different fucking manga.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's looking better almost week to week, and I'm like,
it's really exciting.
Illustrator coming into her own,
and I'm starting to like see like less and less complaints about the story, like in comment sections of the chapters and on Twitter and on Instagram and shit like that. So it's real. I'm really excited for the series, man.
Yeah, it's good. People are haters.
Once the anime comes, it'll pop.
Yeah, for sure.
Anime is going to be pretty, but it's only if Piro. It's probably going to Piro because I'm sure it will because of just Kishimoto. But maybe it won't. Maybe it'll go to a better studio. Or if it does go to Piro, hopefully Boruto's dead by then and they can actually put some money into something else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, depending on like how big the hype gets for Samurai 8, like if it really starts to like dwarf the the hype of even the Boruto manga, then I think that Piro will know, like, all right, we probably should pay attention to this one a little bit more. You know what I mean? So
it's just too much of a cash cow to just suck off Naruto for forever. Like, how much money did fucking TV Tokyo and all the motherfuckers make off of fucking Naruto for fucking whatever 17 years or however long it ran? Like,
right? Yeah.
It's hard to think that they'll even like they'll just keep making Boruto filler. Like, the manga could stop tomorrow and they'll make fucking anime for that shit.
We'll get 7 more movies. We'll get
so
all types of shit. Yeah, but chapter 28 of Samurai was incredible. Yeah, but it was just like all action, and then you go into 29, right? Which I was assuming you were about to.
Yoshitsune is calling,
bro. This backstory.
It's heart-wrenching.
It is heart-wrenching. It was so well written. Like, I was really starting to hate Kotsuga, and like I figured that Kishimoto would give him a sob story to make us feel for him, but I was confident it wasn't gonna work on me like at all. I was just gonna be like, okay, we got the pathos, like, but I'm still really not fucking with Buddy. But the execution was flawless here, like switching the vials of blood so so that the test would come back negative. Kotsuga's dad not wanting to believe it, and for good reason, obviously. He's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way.
That conversation though, like, hyped me where he's like, hey, even if it's 2%, is your son and your blood, and it hyped his ass up. Like, fuck that 2%. I'm stabbing the shit out of my kid. Fuck this shit. I was wild. I was like hyped for that. I was like, hell yeah. And then he's like, okay, buddy. And he's like, no, don't fucking stab me. And he's like, nah, you taking this blade.
And I always knew.
Shit.
And like after like the last chapter or the chapter before where we got a little bit of the backstory for Kotsuga and we first heard of Yoshitsune, I like did a little bit of like research on that, and I guess that there is a tale in Japanese folklore of like the betrayal of Yoshitsune. Like Ben-K and Yoshitsune is like a story of betrayal and whatnot. So I always knew that it was eventually going to deliver this kind of a backstory, but like I wasn't ready for how amazing this shit was going to be put together. Like he goes to stab Kotsuga anyway, and then Ben-K Kotsuga's mom like taking the hit, and then Ben-K being like, yeah, now's my chance, and then killing her. And then he knew that Yoshitsune would believe believe that it was him that did it. So he's like, oh, I killed my princess, and then now he malfunctions and or whatever, and dies or whatever. And knowing that he would get, Ben-K would have access to his key after that, it was just incredible. I was just like, holy shit, man. Like, you really did it the best possible way that you fucking could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude.
Definitely.
Fucking, also, Kotsuga is definitely going to become a samurai now, we know that. Because the vials were switched, so we know.
My thing is that I just wanted to say that him and Hachimaru are about to double team Ben-K's ass.
Yeah, but the craziest
coming up to
the craziest thing is that Kotsuga's real name is Sanda. So now like we kind of like know that he's like a true key, right? Because Hachi 8,
3,
Nanashi 7, and then Sanda is 3. San is 3. Yeah.
Third key, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, so we know that like this is gonna be like this might be like a you know his Shikamaru. You know what I'm saying? His little right. Well, I mean, unless whatever knee is, whatever to the 2 key is, might kind of go into that role. But I mean, I feel like that Kishimoto's kind of setting it up to be the Kotuga role there. But I almost wanted like Kotuga to like not become like a tried and true samurai in the story and just be like a samurai anyway in a human body and just be cold blooded.
Yeah.
I almost would have preferred that, but
I want to say like a Han Solo. Don't kill me for my Star Wars inadequacies here, but like a guy who isn't a Jedi but still is in the battle.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
On the right track with that?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll take that. That's good.
Okay, good. All right. Hey, I shouldn't even try, but it's like landed it, stuck the landing.
You
nice.
stuck the landing. That was good. I'll give it an 8.5.
All right, Star Wars fans won't come for me this week.
Han Solo never picked up a lightsaber, but yeah. But I mean, he still blasted your ass though.
Yeah, it's like, somebody who puts in work who ain't the main set of whatever's.
Actually, I think he does pick up a lightsaber in like the newest movie. I don't remember it right now, and I don't really want to go into it, but just so that we're on camera with me, like slightly remembering that, just in case. But yeah, man.
Is there really anything else? Oh, the only other thing I really wanted to say is how Daruma starts to revert into a cat and then into an actual Daruma.
Yeah, dude.
Doll, and for all my people out here playing Pokemon Sword and Shield right now, I just felt like it was a little Darumaka. Looks like Darumaka the Pokemon.
I haven't even seen that yet. I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah. Well, in this new region, Darumaka is an ice Pokemon, and in 5th gen, it was a fire. It was like a fire Daruma, whatever.
Oh.
But yeah, shout outs to Pokemon for all you old ass kids still playing that shit.
Shout out.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's all I had for Samurai 8, though.
Yeah.
Me as well. So, I think we can move right into Chainsaw Man chapters 48 and 49. And I think the tightest thing I thought about, or what I thought was the tightest thing in chapter 48, Kaboom, Kaboom, Kaboom is the title, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome title, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude.
And
that's what it was.
Swear to God, Retze cutting off her own finger on the chainsaw blade.
Bro, dude.
Blowing it up on his ass.
Yes.
That shit was
saying
raw.
you need to understand your power better.
Yeah, for sure.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That shit was super tight.
And the art that we've been getting in this arc has just been absolutely incredible. Like Fujimoto is so good at drawing explosions, dude. Like the alternating contrast that we get like in dark and lit areas is like so well done, right? Like the explosions are dark and lit areas and then they're white in dark areas. It's like that. It feels so different than explosions that we've seen in like literally anything else that we've ever read. I feel like this is new. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like there's usually a mix of like white and black, like this cloud is different colored.
Yeah, depending on like the light source and depending on like the environment and whatnot, which is really cool to see. And like Hiko was saying, we're getting a little bit of dialogue, like like during this fight, in the previous chapter, that implies that like we'll see some growth on behalf of Denji, which is always good, right? Like when she leaves the finger on the chainsaw, like Denji's an idiot. But like he still kind of like absorbs like shit like that, you know what I mean, and
definitely.
and uses it later, which is really cool.
But I mean, just how about like how the fight like just how had happened in that last chapter, where it's like, okay, Denji gets beat the fuck up for a little while, and then tries to jump out on her, and then gets hyper bomb beamed into the sky, hyper bomb,
and then
fucking,
yes,
Baku Geppo's up there, and then fucking Booker T Missile Girl fucking axe stomp kick into the fucking ground.
But turns her leg into like the bomb on her leg looks like a dick.
The combat in these chapters has been A1.
Yeah,
it
bro.
has been wild.
Yeah,
it has been super tight. And then how about Aki hiding in the dead bodies? I was like, oh
yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. Popped up, say, yoink, give me that arm.
Big Paco vibes from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
hiding in the oh man. But
except for it didn't go well for Paco. Let's see how it goes for Aki. Well, he got saved really already by fucking
Violence Devil.
whatever.
Yeah.
You called the Violence Devil coming back, by the way.
Yeah, and he always comes in clutch, which is just like cool to just like have him there, knowing that he's like lingering in the background, like ready to pop out and help the squad whenever. But Aki putting up a pretty good fight though with Retsei, with that future sight and that sword that he's got, which is really cool to see. And like you can get a little bit of analysis from him, like if I fuck up at all, like it's over with for me. So he like slices off the arm. He knows she's gonna like regenerate it as she's casting the bio weave. He like sidesteps it. You know what I mean? And but then she still is just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna blow everything up. which is it's like it's so hard to fight Retsei, because it's like when she wants to square up with you, it's like, okay, I can kind of dodge these explosions, but at any moment she can just nuke the fucking whole area. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, definitely,
that's fucking crazy.
I know. Yeah, and I know we got the numbers on how the gunman killed 400,000 people here and 50,000 people there. It's just like, man. I feel like that Retsei did that shit.
Yeah, that's what that's what we were talking about in the
I know, but like it just seems more and more so like that's just like, I mean, I don't know, like obviously we have to see what the Gun Devil can do, but it's just like Gun Devil to me doesn't sound like you did that.
The Gun Devil's a motherfucker. The Gun Devil's a motherfucker at a desk in a suit with a name card on the fucking desk that just tells the Bomb Devil what to fucking do, and people just say it's the fucking guy. I don't like. There's like, I mean, obviously the Gun Devil could probably do some crazy shit, but it's like the more that we see of Retsei, the more it feels like this Gun Devil just has the exact same kind of ability, which I doubt it's going to be. You know what I mean? So it's like. And
Gun Devil got artillery.
Yeah, and at the same time, they're finding these Gun Devil fragments. So I mean, he has to be doing something. But it's like you're both just like a whirlwind of explosions that kill X amount of people at a time. But also, what's really cool is that we're getting like verbal confirmation from Retsei that she's running out of blood. Yeah, that's really cool to see. So it's like, but at the same time, it's like, when has she replenished her blood this entire time? And how does she have that much mana? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy that she can go, this long, without having to, I mean, unless she's been drinking it off panel from the people that she's been killing, but
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's just training. I just think
maybe it's just training,
that you use less blood mana per bomb, whatever, just by, getting your abilities up. That's great to see, obviously, because we don't want always I gotta go eat somebody, drink their blood, which it was really cool to see M.A.N.G.A fucking bring over the fucking body to pour into Denji's mouth and shit. Like, that shit was super.
And then he just popped right back up,
and it's like, you're gonna die anyway. Now that I'm touching you, you're for sure dying.
The Halo theme. So like, what if M.A.N.G.A like got like a boost, from touching them, and then drained, so now M.A.N.G.A.'s going to be in tip-top shape, or maybe he always was or whatever, but I think that's probably going to go into how effective he is.
Really got to see him fight.
I swear to God,
like
bro.
He just needs to after him and touch his shoulder, and you like decay. Or,
maybe, I don't know.
I
need to see something. I need to see a wing attack or something, bro. Pretty soon, because I've been saying that for a couple of weeks, but it's like I need to see something. Aerial ace, I think is what Kiko.
Golden wing or something.
Some steel wing.
Yeah.
Steel wing. Oh, dude, we're finally seeing the Typhoon Devil. Just a big baby.
So fucking it's ugly and gross.
He's the face motherfucker with a tornado of intestines.
But his brains out, and the intestines, it's like
disgusting.
Man.
Yeah.
And I love that we're seeing this whole shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that we're getting like the development with Denji, where it's like he's probably going to start expanding more on his chainsaw devil abilities here.
It has to, even though
I took that as like Beam giving us information of who the chainsaw devil was before Denji.
That is
right.
True. Yeah,
because Denji's never done that.
No,
what he said, Denji's never hooked his shit on buildings and spun around.
No,
that's why he
doesn't fucking
like
even
the
listen.
potential idea of development that he shit that he can do in the future.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And probably even more than that, because that's all that Beam remembered on the spot. Beam's a dumbass, and I still love Beam. By the way,
Beam is so good.
So fucking hilarious.
Beam is so good.
Wrong. He's like, nah, this ain't what you're supposed to do, G.
He's on him with the chain. Like, how that probably hurts, bro. Like, you got a fucking barbed wire. You got barbed wire in your mouth, bro. Like, but that's such a funny panel, like seeing him on Docking.
But that'll be tight to the Denji swinging from the rooftops like Spidey.
Yeah, dude. That's hell
the
yeah.
chains.
God, I can't wait to see that. But I feel like he might not even.
A lot.
He might do that too. But I feel like he might be like, fuck it, and just like start roller skating with his chainsaws on the feet.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I mean? He might start doing something like that.
Yeah, that is something we talked about before, which would be cool.
Yeah, because when he killed the Katana Devil, he pulled the chainsaws out of his legs.
Yeah.
So like we already know that he's probably gonna be floating
them
out
fresh fours. I was sad.
That had me dead, bro. When you said that shit. Damn. Oh man. Yeah,
that's all I got on Chainsaw Man.
Me too. Yeah, me too. It's just action pack, you know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of exposition in these chapters, like anyway when there's action going on. So it's pretty quick to get through two chapters on there. Yeah.
Yeah, they go through fast. Chainsaw Man just always goes fast, even with dialogue. But that's good. So I like the way it goes, the flow and the pacing. So
sure.
Yeah, that's all I got. Yep.
So we can move on to Promised Neverland, chapter 159. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, what I want to talk about is kind of like near the end. Yeah, this week it's on break, so there's only one chapter we got to talk about.
Really, the only thing I feel like the big thing to say is at the end. But go ahead. I'm pretty sure you can say the same thing. I would say.
Let's do it.
Sanju final boss, yo. Like, 'cause that last panel is looking a little sketchy. You know what I'm saying? He said, "No, I can't let it happen, G." And even Musica, you know, where she's like, in the previous panel. They're in basically the same positions. She's standing behind him. Yeah. Her face is not shaded at all. In that last panel where he looks like he's like about to activate and go after him, her face is all like shaded out, you know, not showing it all. Like she's got a brooding look, like she knows he's about to go murder him.
Yeah, there was a lot of positive dialogue though. Like I'm sure that could be to throw us off, but like even music is like, but you know you wanted to eat them. I know you wanted to eat them. I know you want to eat everybody, but you don't. And that's what I love about you. Yeah. And like I don't know, like I feel like she just can talk him off that ledge. You know? So
and his religion plays like a big part in it too. You know what I mean? So like I feel like if he does snap, that will be like something is gonna have to like we're gonna see that coming outside of this. You know what I mean? It's not just gonna be Sungju is cool and all of a sudden he's just like, you want to know what? Never mind. Yeah.
Can we see him getting a power up too? You know, does he need a power up? I would say kind of. For to be like a final boss, I feel like he does need a power up. And how does he get it with you know, maybe he eats Norman.
Oh, bro, chill. No, he'll eat fucking Ratchery. He'll eat fucking Ratchery and then go crazy because it's like obviously we're getting the final arc, or at least the second to last before we get like the wrap up arc will be like the Ratchery arc, right? But you know, and then
he's gonna come in, kill Peter,
and
then as they're like, oh, all right, thanks, bye, he's gonna be like,
No, and then when that happens, Phil will be like, you thought you could get this far without dealing with me, buddy?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Full of loads I'm about to bust you in the head with right now. It's like, what else is he bringing?
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Dude, William Ratchery's just reporting to, or Peter Ratchery's just reporting to Phil the whole time. Yo. Wow. That'd be crazy.
Nuts.
But
Wilson,
I mean, Wilson Fisk,
Wilson Phil, the Kingpin.
Oh man, Filson Fisk. Oh, but yeah, man, I don't know. I'm liking the direction that the series is going, and I guess in regards to like a wind down, but like, you know, even though the series has lost like the tension that it had, you know, in the beginning of the story, I feel like it's fine because like I know that it's all coming to an end here pretty soon. You know, like if this were the middle of the story, you know, like I would probably have a pretty serious problem with how I want to, I guess shonen is the word I want to use, with how shonen the story has become, because like you're just not going to be able to keep that butt clench, you know, forever, right. Especially in a shonen story that you know is going to have a relatively happy ending. But like worst case scenario, Norman dies at the end. You know what I mean? Like like that's what I'm feeling. But I mean, like you go through like Goldie Pond and like going into every chapter, you're just scared. You know what I mean? And like and there's just all of these like these dynamics and like this like kind of like this war of like wits that's going on, you know, and you have Crone and Isabella that are still the two best, you know, villains of the story, you know, to me. You know what I mean? Like, and
Louisvis.
I mean, you have Leovis, like, once it turned into like a real like shonen like battle, like, you know, arc, you know what I mean, in Goldie
I see
Pond.
what you're saying.
But,
yeah, definitely.
But I mean, like, I still have not been more worried for those kids more than in the Gracefield house arc. You know what I mean? And you know, and then you go into Goldie Pond and it kind of loses some of that tension, but still like brings it back. You know what I mean? Like when Emma finds herself like back in like a cattle kind of situation. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. But like that's when it really felt like a tried and true like shonen, where you knew the bad guy was going to be beat at the end with minimal casualties. You know what I mean? Like in Gracefield House, you didn't fucking know, and then Norman is gone for 90 chapters. You know what I mean? Like the stakes were the highest in the beginning of the story. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because like I was just reading it third party or whatever, like not off Viz, like when it first came out, and I had no idea it was on Shonen Jump. Like I didn't think it was.
Yeah, I thought me too.
I
yeah,
tried that as a shonen.
Yeah, I thought it was a seinen for sure.
I was like, this is not a fucking shonen.
Yeah,
and then you start seeing more shonen
demons killing kids and shit.
Yeah, and just like these crazy fucking mind games with children, like, and I don't know, you know, like when that first fucking arc, you're just like, this is not something that feels like it should come out of Shonen Jump. Yeah,
and you get all this mystery, like suspense thriller, you know, vibes from it, you know, and then as the story progresses, it starts to lose that because, you know, it's plot threads that have to be tied up, and, you know, resolution that eventually has to come to it, so it starts to lose that butt clenchy tension, you know, as it goes through, but still maintaining the excitement, you know, like into the Goldie Pond, and then now in these like last arcs here, you know, it just feels like the world revolves around Emma's will. You know what I mean? And no matter how dire, you know, a situation gets, it's like Emma's going to come in, say some words, and then everyone's going to like morph their outlook around, you know, this shining star, and that's fine. That's totally cool. Like, you know, if it's ending, it's cool. Like I said, if this was the middle of the fucking book, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But it's starting to wind down now, so I'm like, okay, you know, like this is fine, but.
Well,
I feel like Kaiju Shirai has been taking a lot of breaks lately. You know, just like knowing that it's kind of winding down, reaching near the end.
Yeah, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't blow it.
Yeah.
I think, though, I mean, as much as I do want to see the story kind of like wrap up and like let's get us to like a final like closure arc with the Ratchery and just kind of, you know, finish
and see the promise, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that I was thinking that we find out what the remade promise is, and Peter Ratchery goes and remakes the promise again, and then somehow like forms with the god, and that's final boss.
Yo,
you know, gets absorbed by the god, and that's final. And Sunju, you know, and Musica would have to be a part of, you know, team to fuck, you know, God Ratchery up.
Bro, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah, that's the only thing like I could see that I would like.
Really be like, cool okay,
with the story, keep, you know, to add another 200 chapters to the story, because I feel like we should be at 50 chapters or less.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. That would be insane.
Like, what are they really doing?
Like what? Like how are you?
Done.
There's not going to be another gluttony kind of situation, overloaded, you know, like nucleus or whatever. You know, it's not. How are they going to deal with that? You know what I mean? Like,
Norman eats all the other kids and
Super Norman. Hell yeah. Well, I mean, that's really all I had for Promised Neverland.
Yeah, there's not much to it.
You could probably move on to Black Clover chapters 230 and 231.
Hell yeah.
And I just love the action panels in chapter 230. I mean,
bro,
Asta out here looking like Yami with the black slashes
and the pectorals, striations by the chest and shoulders.
Hell yeah!
Hey, have we seen these black slash cuts cut through any magic before, or is that new? That feels like that's new.
The throwing them.
That he can clean just cut through them. Yeah, you know, in their whatever.
I don't think he's been throwing anti magic attacks before. I don't think he's had range like that yet. Yeah. But also he can, I think we talked about it in the last episode too, but he can like grow the size of Demon Slayer, which is pretty crazy.
And he can make it wide. He had that easy like reflect panel where he just reflects like 3 magics back at all 3 mages.
That's right.
it's tight that that's come back, because I felt like that happened early in the story and we never got it again for a long time.
Right.
And maybe we did and I don't remember it, but like now it feels like
it's refined.
Now it's a real tactic that we're gonna see, you know, and it's good. It's not just this thing that was used against M.A.N.G.A to, you know, home run hit his fucking fire fastball.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Like we're seeing those like on the fly, like improvised like combat tactics that he used in the beginning of the story, and now they're refined to like actual, you know, like
so it shows good planning. Shows that this was always part of the plan.
Wow.
I that's the thing. Like, I feel like Black Clover now, like with these new developments, could like bust open to like a 700 chapter manga. It really could. You know, I don't know. Maybe its sweet spot might be around 400 to 500, but I don't know. Who knows? You know.
I would love to see it. A lot of people think that because of the time skip that Tabata's kind of like rushing it to you know.
You had more than one time skip. Shit, I saw Dragon Ball. Fuck time skips in that bitch.
That's true. Yeah, for sure. And it's cool to see, you know, Noelle and Leopold and Luck and whatnot, you know, in the newer chapter, you know, and
was my favorite thing.
Yeah, Noelle is you know, just
broken.
Yeah, just broken, you know, and
it's like all of a sudden she can do Valkyrie dress, fly through the fucking mana zone with Naga's cradle, holding her people and carrying them with. It's like, are you invincible now?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
But it's like this is what, you know, it's like this is what we wanted, you know, like we've had 200 some odd chapters of seeing like, you know, like Turtle's pace development, you know, and everyone and like of course you love to see that shit, you know what I mean, because when you take a step back, you know, and you look at the series as a whole, you appreciate, you know, like that slow development into what you'll see like at the end of the series, or when they finally come into, you know, to who they're going to be, like, you know, in the end game type shit. You know, like you love to see that Turtle space development there, but at the same time it's just nice to like see Noelle in like a really truly confident, you know, level where she's just nothing to fuck with at all times, you know what I mean? And
I don't think there's ever been a side female character who gets as much development as
straight up.
I really don't think so, because it's like it's not like one of these stories where, like, you know, Outlaw Star is one that comes to mind, where it's like the main character is a dude and he has two females that are just kind of stronger than him kind of the whole time, and it makes sense for them to be stronger than him, where like Noelle isn't ever probably going to be stronger than Asta, but she feels like she's keeping on pace far more than like any other female side character in any other shonen I've ever read. You know, and it's good to see that you know, it's just the evolution of shonen storytelling.
Bingo.
We had that, you know.
And also,
hell yeah,
I loved seeing Mimosa and, like you said, and Finral too, because Mimosa can heal like a big ass group of people now. Where I think she can only do like one or two.
Thick ass Mimosa out here with wings. Fucking.
Yeah, that's incredible too. Yeah.
And also Finral, I don't know like how, because it seemed like he was about to teleport to where Luck and Leopold were at, right? But like he hasn't been there, so I wonder if he leveled his magic up to where maybe he can like
just imagine where he's got to go.
Beacon on people he know, maybe someone he knows is somewhere, he can go right to him.
Bro,
like instant transmission. If he can sense their mana, he can go there. Yeah,
that would be amazing. And
we don't want him to be Blink, right? Where he can just take a whole fucking group of people to the moon and just leave them there. You know, like that's broken as shit.
That would be wild.
Yeah, for sure. And I love how, like, going back to Mimosa too, and is that, you know, Tabata doesn't forget that she's not an elixir. She just is a health potion. You know what I mean? Like she's like, I can't do anything about your mana. You know what I mean? But I'll heal your stamina, because there are characters that can specifically heal mana, like Charmy. You know what I mean? So it's cool that he doesn't forget, you know, shit like that, and that's like an established, you know, difference in that.
There's always I always love separation of like life force and mana in anything, or even, you know, other things too, endurance or whatever, where it's like, okay, you don't have sensu beans, you don't have like a cure all and everybody's good 100% can fight, you know. It's like, okay, I can heal this portion of you or restore this part of you
if that person's there, you know what I mean? But
and if that person's there, definitely, where you know, that just, you know, adds depth, adds, you know, other elements instead of just, okay, you can fight again. That's always lazy to me,
for sure.
And then along those same lines too, Charmy, you know, obviously can heal mana, but not, you know, she can't heal HP,
right?
Which and
it's not just like a outward, like, you know, AoE, you know, mana heal, she has to imbue the food that she cooks with her mana, and then you have to eat that to restore mana. So that's not even like an on the spot thing that can just happen when you're in need. It's like you need to be like in a controlled situation where this is safe to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it might even be a trade-off too, where like she's actually using her own mana to imbue the food, which is lowering her mana.
Yeah,
you know.
That's
so,
that's what I assumed.
She also gets her mana restored.
What?
Yes.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
So it's not like that then.
It reminds me. Well, it reminds me of. It reminds me of
Yeah.
like a necromancer in like some old MMOs where it's like they cast a spell on themselves where like they regenerate their mana faster, but it would be constantly like sucking their life away. But their abilities were to steal life from people. So it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how that felt to me, and I'm like, that's pretty sick.
That is sick.
I hope that's how that works.
Hell yeah. Can we talk about this demonic triad a little bit?
I'm saying because
wait,
what is
hold
going on
hold
with
hold
Julius and Yami in the triad?
Hold on.
I'm surprised that we've gotten past Luck and Leopold together, and you have not activated about Magna and how Magna is now thrown away for Leopold. To take
Yeah,
his spot.
bro.
I thought Eagle was gonna activate, like,
Bro,
so much.
yeah.
Oh, fuck, it's my back. It is shake. Oh! That was the problem.
You made him remember now, and now he's about to flip the desk.
Magna in the gym.
All right. He's in
Magna
the
in
batting
the gym,
cage.
and he's
Eyes
about
in
to
the batting
come
cage.
out. Yeah,
He's gonna come back swole Fabio, long hair down to his
Tabata.
fucking...
Get it together, you fucking moke.
Bring my guy back, okay?
For real.
Now we can
about to strike.
now we can talk about the demon triad, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, and Eagle is saying exactly what I wanted to even say about him too, is the resemblances here that we have between. That's what you were bringing up, right? Like what is up with these Julius and Yami clones in the triad? And I feel like even the girl looks like somebody, but I couldn't put my finger on. Yeah, Xenon definitely looks like Julius, and he has like a scar or a mark or a symbol in like a similar area, you know, like above the eyebrow, and then Dante looks just like Yami, dog.
Well, the names I wrote were King Ghetto, because he's got the fucking thing.
Oh
on the
yeah.
King Ghetto, Prince Tanjiro, and Princess Eye Patch. Because like he's got the big fucking scar right here too.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what is? Are we just trying to take like everything that's like popular right now
and
trying to like, you know,
with a cloud
off that
with a splash of Crollo Lucifer?
Yeah,
because they all got the Crollo jackets on.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
What the hell, man?
Their character designs are fire.
Yeah, for sure. They look amazing. I can't wait to see what they can do. They all like are like using devils in some kind of way. That's gonna be so sick to see. So are they all like using like one devil, and it's just like that one devil is splitting, you know, its essence among all three, or do they all each have their own devil?
I mean, that's a good question.
I want to say they all have their own devil. Like that would because if they're all using part of the same devil, I just feel like they shouldn't be as strong as Asta is.
Yeah, well then they're all just gonna form like Voltron eventually in the final battle.
Docking.
That's definitely a good point. That's possible, but obviously there's a hierarchy, just like I'm saying, king, prince, princess, whatever the fuck, you know, just based on their looks and like just the conversation that happens. Obviously, you know, we got King Buddy here, who's
King Buddy,
who's in full control of. I want to say he's like full control of the devil, where you know they sent Prince Tanjiro over to fucking over to fucking Diamond Kingdom, and like he can control, but like there's just gonna be like a different level where the young girl is like, oh hey, I can do stuff too, basically, which leads you to believe that she's obviously the weakest of the three and still has like time developing.
I really want her to be like the biggest, like even if she's not the strongest of the three, I don't want it to end up being a situation where it's like I have the most of this devil, so I'm the biggest problem that you have to face. I want them to all have like different fighting styles that like are problematic in different ways, and I really want this girl to be like the most problematic to the people that are the most important. You know what I mean? Like Leopold and them or whatever can go ahead and fight, Xenon and have like a who's got a bigger mana pool fight or whatever. But like when Asta and Noelle go to do shit, I want them to run into this girl and she has some extra broken like technical shit that is like really hard to deal with. You know what I mean? I don't want it to just be strongest attack versus strongest attack, conflicts, with these guys. I feel like that would be a wasted opportunity on behalf of Tabata.
Yeah. The other reason why I think they all have full devils is because of what Asta said to let's see what he said to in the previous chapter, whatever, 230. He says let me see, just that that venom demon guy, the basilisk breath guy.
Yeah. Oh man, the basilisk was so cool to see, bro.
I know. I thought you were gonna say some words about that too.
I forgot all about it.
But so he infects Asta, and you can see like his skin, being discolored or whatever, and then Asta uses his fucking anti-magic to like reverse Jutsushiki heal himself or whatever the fuck,
well, that's the same sword that he uses in the elf arc to revert everybody back. It sucks in the issue or whatever, the problem.
So that was cool to see, and that's where he says like, I've never seen anybody like reverse this magic, because at first that the Venom Demon guy is talking about
Venom Demon Magellan.
Yeah, Basilisk Breath guy is
saying Ball Jones.
But he's like, nobody can reverse this. Like this is like serious fucking poison. This is like really serious shit. And obviously anti-magic makes sense why he can reverse it.
Yeah.
But Asta makes the point to say like, you only got a small amount of a devil in you. Like you've been like bestowed maybe by the Dark Triad or whatever. They gave you a piece of their devil is how I kind of took that.
Oh yeah.
Which, why I think that they all have their own devil, which also makes a lot of sense because they're like the devil kingdom, the cursed kingdom.
Right.
Whereas like if just one devil is cursing all of them, then how are they really any different than Clover? They had one devil cursing.
Yeah, that's right.
Or whatever.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
So yeah,
I like
that's
that.
why I mean, and it's just going to raise the level of despair significantly to have 3 separate devils.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would like that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. That's about all I had for Black Clover, though.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
So with that, I think we can move on to chapters 251 and 252 of My Hero Academia. And 251 is titled Just 1 Week. And obviously, it's because at the end, Endeavor's shocked. But just something at the beginning. It was really nice to see how the boys, quote unquote, didn't waste any time
at all, bro.
Busting out of the car and activating, showing like they're still even in a situation where it's like highly tense. Obviously Endeavor's son is right there in front of him. You might think, leave it to him. He's obviously trying to handle it.
Right.
They're like, nah, we're still trying to activate and complete this objective.
Right.
We about to save him first.
Yeah, and it's like dual stakes, right? It's like, okay, we need to get this done quicker than Endeavor, like kind of like maybe like in the back of their heads, but at the same time it's like, yo, this is Natsuo. You know what I mean? Like so like it's like double urgency there. But yeah, that's,
and also still the wherewithal to just handle the entire situation. I mean, Deku with saving the civilians, Bakugo handling like activating and snatching Natsuo while Todoroki bodies the villain.
And it's just Kohei like showing us like, okay, these are the 3 things that Endeavor said that heroes have to be good at, and these are the 3 areas that these characters excel in. So like, let's fucking show you that they're prodigious in these areas. You know what I mean? Like, let's not forget that he said like these 3. He never forgets, like, regardless of like what kind of conflict that shows up, he never forgets everything that it means to be a hero needs to be done and focused on during that conflict, which is just consistency that you don't really see in shonen storytelling nowadays.
I really like what you're saying about the 3 roles and the 3 things that were mentioned earlier, like the heroes need to do, and we talked about them then, and we kind of placed each one of those characters in those roles. Where in this scenario, that's not how we placed it.
Actually, you're right.
Because I felt like Todoroki would be doing what Deku is doing and doing more crowd control, fixing some shit, and Bakugo would be the one to attack the villain, not Shoto. And then Midori would be the one, Deku would be in there trying to save people.
Yes.
And it was cool to see
a little bit of
it was like they literally rotated the spectrum. Like what each character moved over to a different. And that to me was like, that's not how I don't think anybody would have put that.
Yeah.
And that's just great writing. Great to see that they're all doing something that's out of what we would classify as their strengths.
Yeah, so we're still focusing on these concepts of what it means to be a hero, but like the characters that you thought would excel in these areas are actually having different roles here. So like there's still, you know, a level of like you can't really predict exactly what's going to happen, but we're still making sure that we stay concrete to you know, to this system. That's amazing that you brought that up, because I had completely forgotten exactly which character was that we talked about was excelling in each role. That's amazing. And can we talk about how incredible the art was in the last issue, bro? In the previous 251, I think it is what it was, bro. Like,
you just have to read Hero on Viz. They have cleaner scans. And it's like the scans on Viz are so much cleaner than all the other.
But even on like Manga Stream and the fan scans, like you could see that there's it's just Kohei himself is a difference in the illustration quality in general.
I agree.
He really put his all into that chapter, man.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like it really does great service to read both. Like honestly, I like reading fan translations, and then I like going to read Viz when Viz comes out. Obviously, you got to give Viz their clicks and all that shit. And support. You got to do it
for sure.
But more than anything, like you just get to see just the differences, and it's like when I'm reading Hero the second time through on Viz, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, when the fuck did this start looking so good? Like, I know what's happening in all these panels. Like, what the hell? Is this guy, is Kohei, you know, is Horikoshi watching our fucking podcast here? About something? Like, all of a sudden, I could tell exactly what happened this whole time. And I'm like, I swear to God, that
like, all right,
I'm
Kiko,
crazy.
How do you like this?
All right, I can draw. All right, okay. All right. Oh, my bad. Sue me my sin.
Gomen.
And then something that like in the newer chapter was like stated explicitly, but like I had a hard time noticing, but now going back looking at panels is really easy for me to notice. Did anyone else not know at all that this dude was controlling the white paint on the road?
I didn't know until we got the verbiage. I didn't know until we got the verbiage in
the.
No way.
No. I 1000% did not call this. I'm saying that I brought this up. Like, what is he doing? Is his quirk just Aizawa's?
Yeah, that's right. That is what the conversation
and then
was.
You guys were like, maybe they.
And
took
I was
this
like,
guy's
what if
quirk,
they developed Aizawa's fabric with his quirk?
And that was great. Yeah. That was a great, angle, and I thought that's a very good possibility if that's true. This is cool and weak at the same time.
What if you're out on the country in a dirt road, you can't control shit, and you're
then you just keep paint on you.
Exactly, that's what I said. Is this paint manipulation? Like, if we can just say if this is paint manipulation, this is a great quirk. If this is only for these goddamn white lines on the side of the highway, just kill yourself. It shouldn't even be your quirk is ass, buddy. but yeah, I'm taking it as paint manipulation. We got Rill or whatever.
Right.
Rill, Bill, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah. But I'm
just Bill.
I'm happy that we did get a little bit of that, that one or two panels of confirmation on exactly what his quirk is. We didn't get the present Mike, jumping out with the narration on it, but I mean, but it's fine. And he didn't, outwardly proclaim what his quirk was either. But I like how they just subtly said he's doing the paint on the roads. That was pretty cool.
We gotta bring the guys back out here to redraw this shit, man.
In regards to the most recent chapter, this Endeavor redemption is just continuing to hit so hard, right? Like,
it's really good.
Chapter title, The Unforgiven.
Yes, dude, it's so good. The writing in Hero is so good because of how much detail is spent on these characters, with this huge overarching story in the background that's getting just enough attention paid to it while these characters develop, right? So seeing their redemption continue week to week is crazy, because you can see how much Endeavor cares. Yes. And also how frustrating this has to be for him, right? Because he's living his whole life working hard to become the best, and seeing the fruits of that labor, in the form of becoming the #1 hero, right? And then now the situation with the forgiveness of his family is one where it's not something that is decided by how much effort he puts in. You know what I mean? He can try sun up to sundown, till he's blue in the face, to get Natsuo to forgive him, but ultimately the result is entirely out of his hands. You know what I mean? So so you have this guy that just spends his entire life thinking that hard work and determination is going to get you anywhere you want, and you can't even get your son, to no matter what you do, it's up to him. Yeah.
And then I love the fact that he respects that on a level where it was kind of unclear to me when I read the fan scans, the verbiage on what he thought about why he stopped, but then in the viz it said
it's clear in Viz much
that he stopped because he wanted to respect Natsuo's emotions, and that if he did save Natsuo, then he might feel like he couldn't stand up to Endeavor because you saved me, and Endeavor might even lord over him, bitch, I saved you, what's up?
That's some of the best writing I think I've ever read.
How he acknowledged that, and that was fucking so good for me. I love that.
And it hit so hard reading it again on Viz. When I read it again on Viz, I was like, damn.
Yes.
That's super serious, super real. That touches, in a lot of areas, it's true. It's just man to man, regardless if it's your son to your father to son, you can hurt another man's pride by not letting them stand on their own too, so and especially when it's your oldest son, you got these fucking this huge dynamic of fucking hatred, or I don't know, maybe hatred might be going a little too far, but obviously they got all these long-standing emotions, and it was so tight how he's just I froze because of how you would feel, and I fucked up. I faltered, and the boys here held me down.
Yes.
I mean, there's just so many moving parts in that dialogue that I was just man, that's some serious writing right there. You gotta give it to the boy.
And it could only hit like that because of all of the little moments of character development that we've gotten, and sometimes even complained about in the series, when it gets really slice of lifey. You know what I mean? And we're come on, what the fuck is this bullshit? You know what I mean? It's when you look back when you look at situations like this, you're okay, these are characters that we understand this well, and their reactions to and their dialogue in regards to how they react to certain situations is hitting us this hard because of how well we know them. You know what I mean? So it's just you forget when it's week to week that this is a whole story, being told that you have to look at. From the outside, retrospectively, as a whole, you know what I mean? This story is not finished, and we go through it from week to week. We have these analyses, of what's going on in current times. But when you start seeing all of the history, hit you in the fucking face the way that it does in this chapter, it's just holy fucking shit. I totally understand why this is getting the love that it gets to such a high degree. You know what I mean? And a lot of people might not even realize why this is their favorite, to on this level, until you really have to start almost to a professional level of analysis, you know what I mean? And it's just
definitely I mean, M.A.N.G.'s getting up there to me is like one of the best written fucking shonen characters
of all time, bro.
Like, M.A.N.G. is definitely Endeavor. Like, I mean, I didn't know what to do with him. Like at first, almost it's like, okay, we're supposed to not like him, but obviously you can see like there is good qualities behind it, and like how is this gonna pan out? Where you know, I don't know. I didn't really know. Or maybe I just didn't feel like maybe this soon we would get so much. It's like so deep so quickly. I feel like. I mean, this kind of like character development, especially in a story like this where there's like a lot of characters get their fair share.
Right.
Yet we're perfect, exactly where M.A.N.G. needs to be at this period of time. Where like it's still, even if we didn't get this for another 100 chapters. It would have hit the same in 100 chapters than it does right now. Right. And I don't know. It's just great writing to me. I just have to praise Hero when I can, because the writing's never been the problem to me.
Yeah, for sure.
When I really started fucking with M.A.N.G. was when I think All Might, he had his final fight and his true like form came out and he had to retire. Yeah. And it was like, okay, all right, Endeavor #1 now. Yeah. And we get that scene where he's in his gym in his house, just wrecking the shit out of it. Like, fuck this. I don't want this bullshit acknowledgement. Yeah. I wanted to really be the best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want this fake ass acknowledgement just because the real #1 is gone now. Yeah. And
he could have taken that rage. He could have taken that rage and been a total douchebag about it. But then a couple chapters later, he's right there in the stadium on the bleachers next to All Might. Like, okay. What does it mean to be the symbol of peace? Like, I need to have a serious conversation with you about what my new position means. You know what I mean? And it's just so crazy, you know, seeing like how like All Might is just like written and built up to be like this perfect, you know, symbol. And then you're like, okay, now Endeavor's number one. All right, well, he's never going to be as good of a character as All Might. And then now it's like, this is the best character in the whole shit. You know what I mean? And it's just so crazy how much forethought, you know, did Kohei have on, you know, how he wanted this story to go. You know what I mean? Like, because if you think about it, man, like all of the moving parts that he has in such a small world, you know what I mean? And all of the attention to these characters that he's fleshing out, it's like, obviously he had to have thought about this, you know, this can't be just as you go, you know what I mean? But it says a lot about him that this has all obviously been planned this way. You know what I mean? It's like, what kind of crazy, you know, Oda style, Togashi style, you know, Charlie in Always Sunny, you know, like line, you know, like, you know, strings on the maps and shit, like kind of, you know, office space do you have? You know what I mean? That you can keep track of all of this shit and make it flow cohesively, you know, in the direction that you want, while still, you know, maintaining this compelling overarching story in the background, you know, that moves the plot forward. You know what I mean? It's crazy to fucking think about. You know what I mean? Like,
something that just kind of dawned on me is with the League of Villains and the you know, the paranormal or the Liberation Front. I almost feel like at this point maybe they'll bounce to, you know, somewhere else, you know, maybe America, who knows, because I feel like the story can't just be contained within Japan the whole time. We've been talking about how it's going. I need to see some expansion of the world here to other countries, you know, other heroes and obviously, you know, other places. I feel like if the story is entirely contained within Japan, I mean, I guess it is what it is, but I feel like it would honestly be a drop ball on.
Those are the two things that lack to me in Hero is sometimes, obviously, during the fighting, you can't tell, like explosions and whatnot. We've talked about it, debris. Sometimes you can't tell what the hell's going on, and then world building. Like the world that they have is good, but it just seems so small and finite that it just seems like this is probably a good time to expand it, because like to me to like think back like to One Piece, like if you try to liken any story that you think is going to go to like 700 chapters or more, you probably want to liken it to One Piece. And that's kind of how I feel like Heroes in that ballpark, where around 150-ish is, I feel like, when One Piece really opened up, because you got like Marijois stuff and fucking, you know, warlords and all that kind of shit, and we're already at 250, and I don't feel like we've hit that big boom. All of a sudden you get this big, all of a sudden the world just opens up dramatically.
But what a better time than now.
Horizon.
What a better time
like
than
that's
now.
On the horizon.
Because it's like, what are these heroes going to do about this overwhelming like enemy, like presence of this enemy that they eventually have to face? Like they still don't even know like the gravity of the situation. You know what I mean? Like,
how could they? Rocky's gonna be so goddamn broken.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
maybe they do get scraped up, and instead of the villain league bouncing, you know, they take over Japan, and the, you know, remaining heroes have to bounce to America or somewhere else,
and all of the other continents, and then form, you know, like a coalition against Japan. Oh man, like an age of villainy. Like, oh man,
pretty tight. Okay, there's been so many big things about this chapter that I want to talk about. One small thing about the first one, 251, it's funny, is that after fucking Bakugo saves fucking Natsuo and brings him over to fucking M.A.N.G.A just hugs the shit out of both of them. Get the fuck off me. I don't give a fuck about your family shit. Get the fuck off me. That shit was hilarious. And then to segue, I mean, that was a good segue to the next chapter, 252, where, you know, they're like, what's your hero name? And Midoriya is like, it's just Bakugo, right? And he's like, no. And he's like, oh, that's great. You picked the name. What is it? He's like, I'm never fucking telling you. Fuck you.
I got someone else to tell first.
Best Genius. And when he finds out that Best Genius is folded up in a bag somewhere, Bakugo's going off, and that's what we need. Like, that is great writing. You didn't really think that Bakugo, like you kind kind of think like, okay, Bakugo like fucks with Best Jeanist a little bit. Obviously, he did his fucking.
He hasn't forgotten for a moment that he needs to. Yeah.
And that he has Best Jeanist to thank for digging deeper within himself to correct whatever problems that he has, because it's not execution, it's mental or whatever. And that he owes this to Best Jeanist, that he needs. The first person I'm telling my hero name to is Best Jeanist, and Best Jeanist is dead, or I don't know, just
which just furthers our idea of Best Jeanist as the number 3 hero without him even having to do anything action wise, without him even being on screen. It's like, this is the kind of character that is in this position this high up in the rankings of heroes, that he's having this kind of an influence on the main cast that we experience every day, every week.
Yeah, and the thing about Best Jeanist too, like it's crazy how much this makes me like him and stuff, that because when you see Best Jeanist, okay, he's got string ability, right? You know, like think of other characters with string ability, Doflamingo, Machi, like way tighter characters. Like fuck Best Jeanist. He's the worst string character I've ever seen in my life. Jolene Cujo from fucking JoJo. Like, and then you have all these other things that he brings to the table, which his fighting ability was tight. Obviously, string ability is always tight.
Especially when it's like fabric based. It's like if you're wearing clothes, it's like you're at a huge disadvantage fighting him. And and even if you're butt naked, he's got his clothes. So you
gotta hit him with the Purry Prisoner to even have a chance.
Darkshine will probably scrape him.
I don't know. He might get tangled up by a Speedo. You never know.
Unless it's unless it's latex or polyester or some shit.
I guess so. Yeah.
I'm gonna go on record right now saying that I think and hope that Bakugo's hero name is Kacchan.
That would be super sick, especially with Deku.
Yeah,
it's murder, death, kill, explosion, whatever.
I think
murder, death, kill, death, murder.
Because I mean, as much as he talks shit, like he does respect Deku. And, has acknowledged him.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
I would like it a lot if it was Kacchan.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Ooh, and
just fitting.
Yeah, and also going back to what Kiko was saying about how Bakugo was reacting to being hugged by Endeavor. In the newest chapter, when Bakugo was talking shit like, yeah, you didn't think we were gonna do it in a week, huh? And Endeavor was like, yeah, you guys did it. Good job. And he's like, no, you're supposed to be mad about that. He's like, wait. Yeah, he's like, you're supposed to be.
You saved my oldest son. You fixed a lot of issues for me, really, because like I couldn't save him because of that fucking whatever catch-22 we were in. And it's like he's grateful. Like there's just so many things that like Endeavor, like so many different emotions that you can feel through the page from Endeavor that you're like, man, this is
so good
shit right here. This might be the best fucking chapter of Hero ever because like the two shining parts obviously is Endeavor and all this shit, but also Bakugo holding his name down for Best Jeanist. It's like that both in the same chapter to me hits so hard. I'm just like, man, this no action in this chapter might be my favorite fucking hero chapter there is.
And it's crazy when a shonen story can deliver a chapter that you even consider as the best in the series so far, and it's not even action. That says a lot about the writing in the story too. So it's like,
definitely.
Yeah, man.
But
that's all I had.
For
yeah. Good stuff.
So with that said, y'all know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the meat and potatoes, the bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? It's the main event.
Don't forget them green
chapters 963 and 964 of One Piece. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
And in 963, I gotta say, I mean, obviously it's not the hypest thing in the chapter, but I think my favorite thing about the chapter was just seeing young Inu and Neku.
Yeah, dude.
And Nekomamushi specifically, because when he was like trying to eat the Odin, and he's like, it's too fucking hot. He's like, I got a cat's tongue, motherfucker. Pull this shit down.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Here we go. I know exactly what Kiko's gonna say.
We were fucked up in the hotel, like in the morning, trying to read One Piece with our heads just pounding. We're like, that's why the fan. We're trying to whisper. That's why the fan translations are even better because it's like cat tongue. We would have no idea what the fuck that means in Japanese without these, and it's
without
like
these translator notes.
give or take. Obviously both got strengths and weaknesses. I am coming around to like Viz's strengths. I mean, scan quality, obviously, that's not debatable. But you know what I mean. Like having those translator notes and to explain stuff to us stupid ass Americans, we don't have no idea. Like, you think we're doing all this fucking research? I'm certainly not. Luckily, y'all two do more research than me, and I can just hear you guys talk because it's like I ain't got time for all this shit. I need translator notes. You need to explain shit to me. I'm dumb, impatient, fat, lazy. I need the shit. Give it to me.
Oh,
there it is.
How visceral. That's
and
great.
then the
That's what I'm
confirmation,
here for.
Kawamatsu,
Yeah, straight up.
fishman.
Huh?
The confirmation that Kawamatsu is a fishman.
Yeah, we knew that.
That was
well,
pretty big
we got
too.
confirmation though.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there was a lot of people. I mean, myself kind of included.
What do you
that
think he
thought
was?
like the land of Wano kind of maybe did have its own like
Oh,
spiritual-
race?
Like he really was a kappa, and
Yeah.
maybe what the hell is the fox's name? Onimaru?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, Gyukimaru.
Yukimaru.
Well, that's his
I
bandit
guess that
name.
was his
Onimaru is
yeah.
his real name.
okay,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Onimaru, that he might have actually been a kitsune, but now I'm pretty sure he's probably just got a devil fruit.
Or he's just a mink with a devil fruit.
Well,
no, he turns into a human.
that'd be the weirdest looking mink we've seen so far, but that could be possible.
I think that's just some straight up Wano shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought too, but then now Kawamatsu's a fishman, and
Yeah.
See, but
But that doesn't mean that Onimaru's not something special from Wano.
Yeah, Onimaru can still be a kitsune.
It
and
could
that
be.
could just be
Yeah.
a thing.
But I hadn't thought about that before. Yeah, maybe. maybe.
But yeah,
maybe
before I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, he's 100% a kitsune. Now
Yeah.
I'm like kind of 50-50. It's up in
Yeah.
the air.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the pacing of these flashbacks is fine. Where
Yeah.
it's like we got like
Yeah.
4 sheaths. We got like 4 sheaths last before this, so 962. I want to say that we got like 4 sheet. We got like Kanjuro and fucking what's the ninja name, Raizo.
Yeah.
Like we got those, and now we get 3. We get Neko, Mamushi, Inarashi, and fucking Kawamatsu.
Yeah.
And it's I'm just so glad it's not like 1 sheath per per chapter.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That
would be brutal.
That was gonna
bro.
hurt my head in the middle of
that
this.
would be brutal. Yeah.
But there is a lot of I think more firm confirmation that One Piece will be done in 5 years.
Yeah.
So too, the pacing, the way it's changed, and just
how
I
many
agree.
dots are being connected and how many plot threads are being like reeled back into the main like light.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I think really just a lot of people are in denial about how close to the actual end of the story we are.
Yeah.
Because like this is real end game shit.
Yeah.
Like Luffy has 2 poneglyphs right now. He's about to get his 3rd.
Yeah.
And then it's 1 more and One Piece.
Yeah.
And
Like,
and
It's
that
probably
one
going to be
more is-
Wano and then Elbaf and then Raftel.
Yeah, it has to be Elbaf next,
Yeah.
or Elbaf. See, that's what I think. I think they're going to be like smaller arcs. Like Wano is the last like huge arc before the last arc, which will be a huge arc. But I think there's going to be like a few smaller arcs that aren't fucking
Zoe-sized
100
arcs?
chapters. Yeah,
Yeah.
30, 40 chapter arcs, not
Yeah.
100 fucking 25 chapter arcs.
Yeah, I heard
Some
people
Amazon lily joints.
Yeah.
say that Elbaf might be that type, like where it's just short kind of info dump,
Yeah. Usopp goes and sees his people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little there, tie up that plot thread and
Yeah.
then off to the moon for Reft.
And I do not think a lot of people think that Big Mom has to like die on Elbaf or be involved in Elbaf. I think
That
if
would be
she's in
super
3
tight.
story arcs in a row,
Yeah.
it's getting a little tight. I believe she's probably fallen on Wano with Kaido.
Yeah.
Especially because it would be fitting, homage to their time as crewmates and shit.
But I would also love to see her die at home too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Either is fine.
or like bring my body there type shit. You know what I'm saying? If she does go down in Wano.
It's hard to foresee 2 Yonko dying at the hands of
I
Straw
know
Hats.
that'd be
Like,
so crazy.
That's a lot. Like there has to be like way more outer influence, and I'm not talking about Luffy's fleet. I'm talking about Dragon. Like there needs to be revolutionaries show up and like Dragon fight fucking Big Mom, or like the Navy
man.
Marine come and fucking one of the admirals fight Big Mom.
Yeah.
Because I just don't foresee them being able to take down Kaido and then take down Big Mom right after, or. I don't. That seems like so much. Like it seems like it's too much to just take down one of them at this point.
yeah.
So
For sure.
So yeah.
your boy Kid coming in.
Yeah, whose boy?
Who knows?
I mean, you fuck with that magnetism shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm of the camp that thinks Kid is, he's up here with Luffy.
Yeah, it's fine.
A lot of people would argue not, but yeah, I think the portrayal speaks, for itself.
I mean, and we've talked about it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
A tier,
Yeah.
For the newer chapter, well, I mean, 963. Y'all should know, but like Oda's so soft he can't even kill a goddamn pig. Like, got sliced in half with hockey wholesale.
That's not
all
Oden's
the
fault.
organs cut up, guaranteed.
That's not Oden's fault.
And
That
now all of a
goddamn
sudden he
pig
was
is
stitched
actually a
together.
god.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Oden's fault. He cut that motherfucker clean in half. Like, that's some fucking Oda magic. How that guy's still alive? That pig should not
I said
be
no. I
alive.
said Oda is so soft he can't even kill a pig.
I thought you said Odin.
Hard body Chad out here.
Yeah.
Okay. All
no,
right.
Oda's a soft boy.
Oda is a soft boy, but that's fine.
He's got plans, man. He's got plans for these characters that he doesn't want to kill. You know what I mean?
Pig just stitched together. I'm like, really? Like, you couldn't even leave him dead?
It's because he's about to come back and do damage, fam.
Hold significance, and they're hiding. Yo, the mountain god swooped Luffy in them, and that's how they're getting to Onigashima.
Bruh.
I'm fucking around.
But wait a minute.
The pig just gonna float on fucking the worst fucking
I'm still
water.
I'm still holding true to my to my idea that that there is nothing about the weather conditions at Onigashima that hasn't been thought about and planned and revolving around Nami. You know what I mean? There's no reason for me to believe that the time of the raid or the exact day and time of the raid is at a full moon. Like, obviously Nami foresaw that. You know what I mean? And these weather conditions that we're seeing now obviously have to be Nami. And I feel like everyone's just hidden behind a huge mirage tempo. And I'll say that until we get confirmation otherwise, because we're not back at Onigashima yet. And that would just be a crazy thing to come back to after a flashback like this.
Would be insane.
I would
love that, actually.
Yeah, dude. That would be
definitely solid.
Yeah, that would be super tight.
Chapter 964, Odin's Adventure. Odin on his Hanzo Hattori.
Bro, ain't he though?
With the chain grapple, he say, "Rat,
Yeah.
I'm coming. What's good?
I'm coming with."
And in true Chad, like, I'm gonna give him the 3 days because obviously he would have done it. He let go to save Toki.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how we're seeing characteristics in Odin that like we're seeing like with the Straw Hats? He's like, I heard a woman calling for me. Or I heard
he almost mirrors the entire monster trio.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That he has all three of their qualities, and it's crazy how that is like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like he can't control himself when he gets to a fucking new island, and he just has to run around and like, oh my god, I gotta see everything.
But then he has no navigational ability.
Navigational ability, fucking Nitoryu,
And I feel like we've literally gotten the exact pose from Luffy that he was like when he's like this after he got all healed up by Toki. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's nuts, man. I love it,
dude. And Toki, like, we have to talk about Toki here, right? Because
definitely do.
Because Toki is old enough to have lived during the Void Century.
Well, it was 900 ago, wasn't it?
No, it was 800 from the current story. And this is 30 years before the current story, so she's right there at the end, seeing all of that, potentially seeing all of that final conflict, like with that void history, right? Which is, and that's a pretty big deal because it's giving us also a little bit more concrete information about the history of devil fruits too. Like, we still obviously like don't know their origin or anything like that, but like we know now that they're for sure at least 800 years old. So like that's making me think like maybe devil fruits had something to do with the collapse of everything in that void history, right? Like maybe that was the superpower that was introduced to combat whatever the powers that be were back then, that created the era that we're living in, or the world or whatever that we have now after that conflict ended. I feel like devil fruits might have played like a huge role in in that void history conflict. That would be super crazy to get information about that, but I doubt we'll get it from Toki. What are we gonna get? Like, what are we gonna get?
I've heard it speculated, I think, that the Uranus is like the original like devil fruit tree, or like the the
The
basically
tree of
origin
might.
of the drum.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Bro,
Do we have a devil fruit tree of might? What the fuck?
wait a minute.
But then at the same time, if it's just like a stationary tree, but then there is a big ass tree in Marijua.
Yeah.
And there was a big ass tree on Clover Kingdom too. Or
They-
not, I'm sorry.
They're always
Where Clover
getting
is
devil fruit
from
somehow.
O'Hara.
Yeah,
From where
yeah,
O'Hara. There, you know, there's a giant ass tree there. And there's
Bruh.
Adam wood. What the fuck is Adam wood,
Yeah.
bro?
Hold on, bro. What?
Is Sunny
Yeah.
made out of devil fruit wood?
Crazy.
Wait a minute. Then how could it swim? No, I don't know. But
Sunny ain't dead, man.
I know because Jinbei held it down.
They gotta.
Oh yeah. Somebody held it. I mean, it's just
Jinbei
indestructible.
said, "Pop, pop, pop."
You can't collapse a fucking cave on it anyway, or
No,
even hit
yeah.
it with dynamite. I feel like
It's taken
strong.
damage from weak attacks before.
No, it hasn't. It
Hasn't
only
it?
took damage from Big Mom. Big Mom
It
ripped
survived
yeah,
an
yeah,
That was
onslaught
it.
from Big Mom, so it ain't no.
Well, and she was
fucking
ripping
cave
pieces
in
off
like
that. You know,
Yeah.
like,
I feel like
But
it got
it
hit
was-
with a couple cannonballs here and there. We got some wood splintering.
nah.
I feel like maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm usually wrong.
Ain't no cannonballs hitting the ship. You know they.
That shit's waxed and clean as fuck. Man. That's fine, bro.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is like how amazing like Whitebeard is in this chapter. Like
Yes.
Whitebeard hasn't been in the story for how long, and Oda doesn't forget exactly how his character would act and respond to things. Like when Izo is, you know, cussing him out about how cruel he was to Odin, you know, and Odin was like, and Whitebeard was like, I didn't think you'd ever forgive me, and Izo was like, and if I would have, you know, like, or if I wouldn't have, would you have like thrown me out to sea or something like that? And Whitebeard was like, if I felt like it. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh shit, like, you know, like that was, it's just cool to see, you know, pirates still acting like pirates, you know,
Yeah.
all the time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
also another
So-
crazy thing is that everyone who follows Whitebeard is one of his children, but Odin is his brother.
I was gonna say
Yep,
that same thing,
yep,
and that's
yep.
because Odin, he knows that Odin doesn't belong on his crew. Like he's not.
Yeah.
Or like,
he's-
what does that say about how strong Odin is in relation?
That's
to Whitebeard?
Well, it
exactly
goes
what
right
it
with
is.
what he
Yeah.
said before about how he knows, like he's like, I know you're not the type of man that wants to follow somebody. I've been
Yeah.
in a crew, you know, with
That's
a bunch of rambunctious, rowdy
Yeah.
ass strong.
That he
people.
likens them to Rock's pirates. Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
on this level of you're this kind of man. You're a conqueror, not a follower,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's why you see. I mean, I feel like that at least kind of solidifies like when they clash.
Yeah.
There is conqueror hockey
Yep.
electricity.
Oh yeah,
around.
for sure.
Yeah.
So we're about to get the reveal that it's actually not Odin Kozuki, but it's ODN Kozuki.
Well,
So,
I mean, from the beginning,
I
they're
saw
all
that
like-
online and I lost my fucking shit. I was like, bro.
any character that has D in the name, we just like start hyphenating it, adding extra punctuation
Mahdi
here and there.
Monk.
Mahdi Monk Rogue.
Yo, it's yeah.
Yo.
But I mean, I think it's from the beginning. From the start of the trial, because even they're all like, why are you making him do this shit, yo? Like this is OD.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, I think it was like a, you know, a brother's trial, not a son's trial.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
where, yeah,
Yeah.
So, let's see here. That I think you guys touched on a couple points that like Odin is likened to Rock's Pirates members, where they're all just loose cannons. They do their own thing. They're people that lead. They don't follow, and that's why like a crew like that doesn't work because everybody's off doing whatever. and,
Yeah.
you know that's huge. Odin being called little brother instead of son is huge.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Massive.
That's
definitely-
massive.
Massive.
that's definitely super significant. Did you guys notice that Toki's sword kind of looks like Yubashiri?
No.
Toki's sword looks like Yubashiri.
I
don't know
thought
exactly.
that it looked like a Meito. When I first looked
It's
at it,
definitely
I
a
was like,
Meito. Because that's because okay, so Momonosuke is Odin's and Toki's kid.
Yeah,
And Odin has Enma. But
Yeah.
and he definitely has that, but like the other one is for Momonosuke's sister.
I think he also has
Kiku, right?
Ame no Hamakiri.
yeah. I think Odin wields both of them.
But okay, so there's no chance that Toki has Ame no Habakiri?
I won't say that there's no chance. I don't think that we've confirmed that one way or the other. It's certainly possible, I think. But I want to say that Odin rolled with both of those swords, and that this is another sword that is going to be impactful in some way, which I won't say that it's Yubashiri, but
The hilt almost looks like Shushui.
Yo, chill.
I think the guard on it, where it's like a four-pronged flower type thing, that makes it look like Yubashiri.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and take a look.
Now that you say that about the handguard looks nothing like Shushui because it's got like the flower petal.
The flower petal.
Yeah,
exactly
no,
right.
that's completely wrong.
Yep. But the sheath looks like it's Shusui sheath.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these could all be just like how, different variants of swords go in Wano. But the crazy thing, so I have a theory that I read. It's that I can't take credit for it, and I can't even tell you where I read it from. Well, I read it from Twitter, but I don't know who the fuck said it. But
what'd they say?
It says that Wano and the Ancient Kingdom were allies against the 20 kingdoms during the Void Century. Lady Toki is a direct descendant of Joy Boy, maybe his daughter.
Wait a minute.
Is why,
okay.
Yeah, this is why she's looking to go to Wano. Only those with Joy Boy's blood can command Zunisha, which is why Momo was able to command it, but not Odin, Roger, or Luffy. They could hear it because they have the voice to hear all things, but they couldn't command Zunisha because they're not direct descendants of Joy Boy. And so since Joy Boy will be the protagonist of the Void Century flashback, let's see, he says, I don't think he sentenced Zunisha as per punishment, but intact just gave him an order to wait for his descendants. And that's that Zunisha's been roaming, waiting for his descendants for 800 years.
Yo.
And I was like, damn, that's
good. I like that a lot, dude.
I could get on board with that. That's why it's like I had to save that for that. And man, if you watch our podcast and that was your theory, because I definitely got it off one of my followers from Twitter, and I meant to write it down. I was so busy at work today that I just copied the shit and I didn't write down.
Yeah.
Whoever came up with that, I would love to give you credit for it, because that's
really good.
I like it a lot.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, but yes, Toki obviously a big deal.
Yeah,
obviously,
for sure.
From the Void Century, and a very important piece of this that I can't wait till we learn.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and that last panel too on the newest chapter, Roger, with just the best Roger panel that we've ever had, in the series.
Doesn't look
Roger's looking a lot like Ace.
With a beard.
Yeah, Roger's looking a lot like Ace in that panel, and Denjiro also too. I forgot to say is looking a lot more like Kyoshiro in these newer flashback chapters, because his jawline is starting to thin out and get a little bit sharper.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I'm still subscribed to the idea that he's wearing glasses so that you don't see that he has the exact same eyes as Kyoshiro, because Kyoshiro's got really thin slits for eyes that you don't really see on a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, and just the fact that Kyoshiro is a currency exchanger or a money handler, of some kind in Wano when he's introduced, and Denjiro is just always throwing money, flipping coins in his fucking hand and shit. I think it's pretty much. But at the same time, it's Oda knows that it's obvious, so it's probably not going to be that way.
Right.
But then who the fuck is he?
Where he at?
Yeah, come on, bro.
I don't know.
Shit's fucking crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, he could have left on the ship that went to the East Blue. They were talking about in the Viva card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that he's Koshiro.
But I think I saw somewhere that the timelines don't add up for that. But
no. Koshiro's too old.
Yeah,
Koshiro looks like he's 40 when he should be 30.
Yeah, but if we don't have a confirmed age for him, which I don't know if we do, then
actually I'd say he looks more like he's 50.
Yeah, how he looks might not matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
He could have experienced the super stressful shit that aged him faster than he's supposed to, or anything like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Hey, how about when they just kind of go through the different scenes of now Odin's with Whitebeard. The first one they show is Odin just cuts a fucking ship in half. They're like, we haven't even plundered.
Yeah,
the ship
yeah,
yet,
they haven't even done anything, bro. And you just fuck it.
One shot him. We got to do this in steps here. We need to take their shit before we sink them. Calm down, bro.
Yeah. And they went to Elbath.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
saw the Giants.
Or I mean, we could assume that they went to Elbath, but I was going through the chapter and I was looking at all of these places that they go, and I'm trying to see if it's reminiscent of anywhere that we've been before. You know what I mean? And the only one that I could really point a finger at was Elbath. But I mean, the koalas kind of reminded me of something, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah, no, the koalas and the plants remind me of the is it but not banana banana it's not that. That's the whatever it is. The fucking
where Ace and
one archipelago.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's the one that kept coming to mind. The name, but that's the wrong name. It's the one that Usopp was on.
Yeah, but it is an archipelago where Usopp when it's just not Sabaody.
Boyne archipelago.
Yeah, Boyne. Yo, good shit.
I was trying to think of that all day. It's crazy how like.
As soon as we're in this environment,
But yeah,
the mind
kept
link.
Fucking saying banana. I felt like it was like an extra N's and A's.
That's where Ace. That's where Ace fought Blackbeard, right? Yeah.
Yep. That's correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also I like to see that we have Shanks and Buggy really young. It feels like younger than even their original flashback, and it shows that Shanks already has the hat, which makes me feel like. Roger finds Rayleigh. They start the pirate crew, and very early on, Shanks joins and gets the hat. Does something to prove himself to get the hat, which we're definitely going to see. Which I feel like Shanks might be like an original crew member, even though he's like young as fuck compared to the rest of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like maybe we're going to see this thing where it's going to be different. Like Roger did let Shanks come on the ship, where Shanks did not let Luffy come on the ship, and that's going to be the difference between the two. Is that Shanks might have been Pirate King and might have like fulfilled this destiny that maybe Roger foresaw for him, but Roger went about it wrong to let him join the crew in,
too early.
Roll with him, too early.
Wow.
And that's. Something that we can see, because we're obviously going to see. There's no way we don't see why Shanks gets the hat from Roger.
Yeah, for sure.
What Shanks does to prove himself to Roger, to show him like he's worthy of carrying the next generation, because that's what the hat signifies. Really, is that you're worthy to lead this generation.
Yeah, for sure.
Or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. That's all I had though for this.
Yeah,
me too.
I agree.
Wow,
we did it.
Great discussion, you guys.
Hell yeah.
Episode 1.
Yeah, right?
Of season 2.
Issue number 1 of Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
We did it.
And that'll do it for this episode of the Project Manga podcast. First episode of the Shonen Jump coverage of season 2, like we said. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, make sure you smash that like button if you enjoyed this episode. The first episode, season 2.
Yes.
Season 2. I might have said season 1 a second ago, but season 2.
It's your time to get on the train. I'm telling y'all, right. Get on early before we out of here.
You've been enjoying it so far. Make sure you leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought of this weekend jump, because it was Fuego Leon.
Yes.
And also make sure you visit the link tree in the box down below. Like I said earlier, you can find the links to any and all of our online communities, and also the link to any audio listening platform that you prefer, because we everywhere now.
Yeah.
Airware.
And with that all being said, this will be another fantastic episode of the Project Manga podcast. Wrapping up, I'm your host, Eagle.
It's the God Kiko and the bitch. What up?
Nazi.
Sarabada.
You know you like that. 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 You know you like that.